Hey everyone, in this video we're looking at calculating your net income or a net income. So we're going to determine the net income after Medicare and taxation have been considered, so they need to be calculated and solve problems relating to that. So there's a whole lot of things that need to be involved here, and it's a multi-step problem, so that's where you can come unstuck if you're not thinking it through or you make a little error. Remember, if you show you're working and you make those minor errors and you carry them all the way through your work, but your understanding is still there. If you show you're working, you've got the evidence for your understanding. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you're writing things down, especially if you put in your calculator and you have to hit an equal sign to get a number. The stuff that you put before that equal sign is what goes down on the paper. So keep that in mind. So Australian Taxation Office, you get taxed, and that comes out of your income before you kind of get it, and that money goes towards infrastructure, our healthcare system, and also like how our roads are serviced and other things involved, parks, so forth, lots of things. Anyway, so that is assessed based on your income. So the more money you make, generally the more tax you pay. You have an assessable income, and that's what we determine what you have. If you have certain incomes, they can be exempted, and anything that's taxable is what you're going to pay the tax on. So it's your assessable income, to be taxed or work out what your taxable income is. It's your assessable income or your gross income minus the deductions, gives you how much you get paid, which is your net pay essentially. So calculating, the first thing we need to do is work out our taxable income. So your taxable income, let's look at the Larry Librarian situation. So if you're unsure of how to calculate your gross income, go back and watch that video. Larry's librarian, we know his annual gross salary or before tax salary is $36,000. What we didn't know in that situation is that Larry also claims some deductions. So if you pay your union fees, there's a whole list of things that are that are allowed, and that's kind of governed by the ATO. So you research those things when you want to find out what they are, or you employ someone who is skilled in tax returns. And then he also donates $10 per month to charities. What is Larry's taxable income? So that is what we're going to be looking at. So remember that taxable income is going to be your gross or your assessable income. That's just another way of saying that. Gross minus the deductions. So taxable income equals. So we know that this value is going to be 36,000, but we don't know what our deductions are at the moment. So the deductions are $145 per year. So we get 145, and it's $10 per month. So if you wrote plus 10, you're on your way, but you're not fully there. Remember, it's per month, and we're looking for the whole year. So this would need to be multiplied by 12. Now, if you're wondering why I haven't put brackets around that, it's because it's bombed-ass, but if you want to, there you go. So taxable income is going to be this minus all this, which gives us a lovely, wondrous taxable income of $35,700. Oh, sorry about that. $735. So that's our taxable income. Okay. So now that we have a taxable income, we can actually calculate what we pay our Medicare and our tax liability. So calculating Medicare, actually I'm just going to write that number again on top of here. So taxable income is $35,735. So Medicare is what we pay for as taxpayers to ensure that we can have affordable healthcare, and it's generally 2% of your taxable income. Again, there are ways to calculate that officially, and it just depends on a whole lot of other social situations. Like your personal situation. So if you've got children, don't have children, have a disability, or you require you have certain things that make you exempt from it. So anyway, that is the general rule though, it's 2%. So if we have a look at the language here, it's 2% of your taxable income. So we're going to take this and find 2% of it, which would mean a multiplication. So Medicare levy, the levy equals 2% of taxable income. And that's going to be, again, you can leave that as 2%, making sure that you put 2 and then the percentage button into your calculator, or if you're going to use decimal, it's going to be 0.02, and then times your taxable income. So that is 0.02 times $35,735, and that levy then is going to be $714.70. So now we have our Medicare levy. I'm just going to highlight these things here so you can see that it's there. If you want to know more about it, there's information on the ATO's website. So net income. This is how much Larry receives after tax has been deducted from it. And not deducted, because tax has been taken and the Medicare levy has been taken. So those two things are subtracted from your assessable income, or the gross income, and then that gives you your net income. So we know that we need to use a table. So the questions you should be asking yourself is, when you have someone's taxable income, so in this case of Larry of $35,735, you compare this value to the values in these brackets. And this is an Australian taxation table, so each year it varies a little bit. So it might change from year to year, and normally it's not by a big amount unless there's been some sort of reform. So Larry's income, we take our value and we find the box that it fits in. So Larry in this case belongs to this criteria. So in this case here, his liability is going to be, so with a taxable liability, it's going to be that Larry is, for every dollar over 18,200, it's 19 cents. So another way of saying that is 0.19. So his tax liability is going to be your tax income, $35,735, minus the 18,200, and what you're left with, so finding that difference, is going to be multiplied by 19 cents, or 0.19. If you multiplied it by 19, that gives you how many cents, and then you would have to divide by 100. If you just convert to this, you don't have to do that. So keeping it in dollars makes it easier, because dollars, and keep that in dollars. Alright, so that means that the taxable income for Larry is, tax liability for Larry is $3,331.65. So this is how much tax Larry has to pay on this taxable income. So his net income, so that's the amount of tax, we've done that. Now we're going to work out the net annual income. Is going to be gross minus liability plus Medicare levy. Here we have our kind of formula that was from just here, and so that fill that in. Notice how it says assessable income, and I've used gross. It's interchangeable in that regards, because the gross is how much you're receiving before pay. It just means assessable means that there are certain things that might not be necessarily taxed on, and that's what that's exempting from that. Gross income, so if we actually think back, his gross income was $3,600. We're going to subtract the liability, which is 3,331. The levy, which is up here, $714.70. Don't know what happened there. And 70 cents, and then the bracket, and that gives us a total of $31,088.65. Okay, so Larry's annual net gross income is going to be that much. So that's how much he receives after he's paid all his taxes, his stuff to the ATO. And then you would take that money, so Larry's net income is that, and then how much does he earn per week? So the weekly is going to be annual net divided by the weeks, which ends up giving us our annual net income of $31,688.65 divided by 52 weeks in the year, which gives us a figure of $609.40 per week. So there's some rounding there. I haven't just giving you the raw numbers of my calculator, that's all. So that is the net income for Larry. So it's a pretty long process, as you can see, and that's why I'm saying, like, if you make an error along the way, if you're not showing your working out, it can't be rewarded for your understanding. So here are your questions. You've got this one here. Make sure that you've got, so Mass Online worksheet is that one there. Report your answers to the nearest whole dollar, so rounding up, and so the nearest dollar, and you've got using the table. When you get to these tables here, note what you need to do is that it varies. You plus this, and then you find 32.5 cents for every dollar over $37,000. So just keep that in mind when you attempt anything in these other brackets here. And then you've got, I'll just move that over a bit. Oh, this bit. Yeah, cool. No worries then. All right, stay awesome, everyone. Bye.